So what were some of the biggest tech choices out of the YCS? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And yes, that is Marionette Mite, actually. Now, they posted an entire article about these tech choices out of the event, and I was absolutely dumbfounded to see that Marionette Mite actually was seeing place. Remember, this is an insect effect monster. This is not a quick effect. You can't do this effect during your opponent's turn. It's just on yours. You can discard this card to the graveyard, target one fiend or zombie monster your opponent controls, and take control of that target until the end of the turn. Wait, there's no restrictions on this. So, hold up. So you're telling me I can just target one of your Unchained monsters and it comes on over here? If you run into some random zombie duelist, you know, who would be surprised if we saw one of those randomly floating around? But anyway, you take control of an Unchained monster. You can synchro with it. You can link with it. You can exceed. You can do whatever you want with it with no restrictions whatsoever. It's a mind control that's actually useful at this point. So, I mean, the monster can also attack that you take control. There's no restriction on that, by the way. So technically, if your opponent sets up one of those cool little monsters that they want to link with, you know, you have utility assets to kind of capitalize and take advantage of that too. Well, that seems kind of interesting at the end of the day. So Marionette Mite actually getting some sort of play out here. I still can't believe it. You know, the last one of these that I actually saw see play was Puppet Plant, of all things. So the fact that we've gone full circle back to the not quick play, take control of monsters, is actually amazing. And remember, it can be tributed, it can be synchroed, you can use it as many, you can do whatever you want to that Unchained monster after you take it. Yeah, we've really come that far. Next up is Phantazmay. Now keep in mind that Phantazmay hasn't, according to the article, hasn't seen competitive play since when Goki was the strongest deck in the room. So what you're telling me is we just hopped in a time machine out here, hopped in, and we've called our old friend back here. Yeah, it is. I've started to see Phantazmay kind of pop up in the last week or so here as an amazing side deck card. So if your opponent special summons a Link monster or Link monsters, except during damage step, you can special summon this card from hand, draw cards equal to the number of the Link monster your opponent controls +1, and then put cards on the bottom of your deck equal to the number of Link monsters they control. Okay, so we get a hand fix of sculpting at least 2 if they summon 1. We tuck 1 back to the bottom of the deck. And then what you're telling me is we also have the non-targeting effect whenever, well, excuse me, the protection effect. Whenever your opponent targets a monster you control with a card or card effect, you can discard 1 card and negate that and destroy that card. So yeah, Thanos actually seeing some hilarious play out here. And they're also kind of using this card as Maxi, where they're using it to dig into their side deck, well, into the main deck for those side deck cards. So you're looking for other things that are going to make your matchup actually pretty tolerable at the end of the day. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if your opponent's going through all these Unchained monsters and you got the Nibiru loaded on up there and you drop the Phantazmay and you just sculpt it on into the additional out, well, that's actually what you're doing with this. So, I mean, once again, you have a 2400, has protection clauses, it's a free special summon, it goes into your turn, you have a monster that you can actually pressure your opponent with. It's actually pretty good. And once again, I mean, this has not been necessarily that surprising to actually see, you know, this kind of returning back into the game. So, cool stuff to actually see. Next up is frickin' Saravis. Now, I've seen Saravis a couple of times that it was kind of popping up in Purely. Because remember, this card has a whole bunch of text, but the only thing you care about on is quick effect. You can discard this card to, excuse me, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, quick effect, discard this card to negate that activation. It doesn't destroy, but this is one of those cards that, oh no, my opponent's trying to negate my Purely card. Oh no, whatever, well, as long as it targets, all right, a card or effect that targets a monster, then you can do your thing. So we've got a lot of targeting negation kind of floating around right now in the game, and Saravis has become one of those little cool tech choices. And that also means something on the cool little notes here. Saravis is another cool tech choice against different decks right now because it offers more protection from any sorting of targeting effects. This means cards like Arise Heart and Escape of the Unchained can be stopped. Okay, so yes, that is... oh yeah. Oh yeah, are you sick of Arise Heart? Yeah, just go ahead and pitch this bad boy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sick of my opponent targeting my stuff and attempting to suck it up. Oh, you're sick of Book of Moon as well? Trust me when I say this. Book of Moon has become another standardized part of the metagame. So you're telling me that we can just kick Saravis around here and have the protection that we want? Yes. But once again, I mean, the main things that I have seen this in have been purely decks. I can't think of anything else in the meta that really cares too much about this, especially, you know, if you're playing against Unchained and, you know, they go to do, you know, escape plays, then you just go ahead and negate. So, hey, good news. It did get reprinted. It's way more affordable than it previously was for some of the higher rarity stuff. I'm not a super huge fan of some of the crazy value that was going around with the original Saravises. Now, this is interesting. So, Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. Now, I've seen this card. It's popped up a lot, but then it disappeared. All face-up level 6 or higher special monsters on the field cannot declare an attack or activate their effects. This is anti-Kashtira support. You know, out of the top cut in top 32, what was it? 5 Kashtira decks in the back half of the day. So what does that tell you? It tells me, excuse me, it was 4 Kashtira decks. You had 4 Kashtira decks in the top 32. People are sick of this deck. There has been no list. So people are, they're finding ways to counterpoint it because it is so unfun to play against. Now, I mean, yeah, your opponent can just stack up as many cool monsters as they want. All of a sudden, you know, who needs Fenrir and Unicorn when you summon three lads and all of a sudden, you know, you got the Shingarira on the field, maybe an Arise Heart. This card does not stop the big vacuum machine that is Arise Heart. This is just merely slows down the individual pieces, which kind of forces your opponent to have to draw into them. But I mean, Theosis, Ray Sloth, all of these fantastic, good power cards that we have seen. I'm sorry. I'm just so sick of Kashtira at this point in time. With the, oh, you broke the Arise Heart? Oops, thanks for dedicating all your resources. Down comes the 8,000 OTK with the Fenrir scooping up, you know, some other little power piece along the way. That's what makes the deck so crazy, is the recovery OTK for the very minimalistic effort. And at least this stops the little cronies from attacking you for game. So I guess that's one big thing. Ulti-rares are very expensive for this. And what's our last big tech choice here? Well, it's Book of Moon. Book of Moon and Book of Eclipse have been, they're driving this format, man. These the books of destruction have been the centerfold of this format. They have been the thing that has probably defined this format, in my personal opinion, as probably the Book of Moon format. I can't tell you the amount of people that actually looked at you getting like, nah, book will never be relevant again. And you speed up here to, you know, mid 2023, and all of a sudden Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse is everywhere because it is single-handedly, you know, you play around skill drain by flipping the monster face down. Oh, the effect's resolved now. It dodges, it forces your opponent not to be able to use things as material. It has become the most offensive, defensive card because you can use it on the defense as well. You know, if your opponent's doing something, oh boy, real shame. You need to use it on the... It is the best multi-purposing card in the game right now. Sub shout out to Exceed Encore for stopping purely. We already knew that. So everything out of this YCS, pretty interesting, actually. The fact that we have the revolving door of tech choices, the fact that we have all of these different things that are happening. As I said, I'm be taking a little bit of a step back from the meta after this event because we're just, nothing much is really left of interest, honestly. But we'll have to wait and see how things go. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.